Thank you, Garish, for the acknowledgement. So, the story I am going to share with you all guys today is when I left from Gurgaon and when I came to Tehri. So, it would be most around the transition phase from that part. So, it was it was a normal day in Gurgaon. It was a month of February end or almost. Tushar was there, and suddenly we got a call from Pratik, come down. So we just came. Then Pratik explained us about what CII is and what in action they are planning and how much pipeline of project they are having. And he mentioned that a concern that he had basically two options, like he can hire a developer from market to complete the projects, or he wanted to give a shot to the current talent pipeline. So he asked us for a commitment that whether you would be able to deliver that, and we were in full confidence. We said yes, sure, we will do that. And then he called Abhishek and Tushar. He asked them, especially Tushar. So his words were, "Bora, tu dhyan rakh lega na inka." So we were pretty much excited to work with Tushar, and Tushar was like, "हाँ जी कोई नहीं, बस normal Tushar." So no excitement reaction, no for the first time working on the client project with interns. So he was not nervous a bit. So I felt kind of confidence when he showed confidence in us, and it was the time when we left Gurgaon. The last day, Pratik and Tushar, Vaibhav was there, and Mohit and Vijaya fortunately was there. So they all bid us goodbye. We started planning to go homes. It was around Holi time, so we were planning for Holi vacations and how we are going to spend that in our homes. And so Tushar set up a Google invite of daily stand-up accordingly, that you guys will be working on this project, this is items, and till then the designs are finalized and the project purchase order received, you guys will be learning on how to implement something on WordPress. So WordPress was initially a bit challenging for us. So we were, and on the top of it, we were all remote. Like Kuldeep was in his home, Gaurav was at his home, and I was at mine. So my day used to start like this. Right, taking breakfast in the morning, mother or father used to say, "Ki today we have to do this work in LIC office. So could you please go to that?" So I was like, I had to do WordPress, but ठीक है, I'll go. So I just used to go there, and then a phone call suddenly used to come, कि बेटा this is supposed to be happen, this is not done. So from there to there, I used to switch positions, and the very first day, it came evening in the 6, stand-up was scheduled at 7, and Tushar, हाँ भाई, status, and I was like, no. Tushar, nothing for today. Okay. So Tushar guided me that how you can manage, etc. So many things he told me. I was pretty much confident that I'll do it from tomorrow. So next day again, Mama said, you have to come to Haldwani with me, and I'll be going to relatives' house for evening. We will be returning in evening. I was like, okay, let's go. So in the evening again, Tushar, hi, status. And I was like, and on the same end, Kuldeep, I have implemented this, I have done this, I have done this. Gaurav was like, I have this much progress. And I was like, Tushar, I'm working on setting up WordPress on my laptop right now. So it was my reaction from that side. The third day, Pratik came in the call and he said, we also do have families. Just observe how we are getting to manage. Just think how you can manage and make things happen accordingly. So at that time, I took his word seriously. When I thought about managing things, I just thought that at home I can't do that, and I planned that right after Holi gets over, I'll go to the college and I'll just make things happen there, because there will be no one to send me anywhere, and I can easily say no to friends also. So I just had plans that after Holi, the very next day, I'll leave to the college. And the same happened. I convinced my homies that let the relatives come, I'm going to college, I have to do my project, I have to do lot many things, and they agreed. So it was a time we all friends met at Haldwani, including Kuldeep, me and two other my roommates. So we had a plan, and suddenly what happened that on the travel day, it was my roommates' friends that paid us a visit. So we were partying all the night, and it was 4:30 in the morning till we partied, and it was the whole hostel, it was the first day of last semester. So we all were like, this semester would go like this only. So we were all excited, and suddenly we slept around 5 a.m. in the morning, and at 8, guard bhaiya of hostel, he knocked at the door. Open! We were like, I was, Pandey dekh le yaar. My roommate just opened the knob and he said, yes. So guard said, niklo bahar. What? So he said that get out, come out of the rooms, and warden is calling you in the office. It was 8 in the morning, and we were like this, in a pretty much hangover. Yes, warden was, what are you doing here? We said that college was supposed to be open at 13, and we were on 13, we were in the hostel. So we were on the right timing and right date, but unfortunately we didn't see the notice, which came in the midnight actually from the DM, that no more colleges, nothing more, and it would all be closed. So we just stayed there, and not only me and Kuldeep and other mates, but there were around 10 or 20 people. Yeah, it was Saturday. It was town hall at 11 a.m. So 11 to 10:30, we had a lot of discussion with warden. It was pretty much of argument. He almost blackmailed 2 or 3 students about like ki back laga dunga, you won't be succeeded in the college. So it was that intense argument that please let us stay in the college, and I was begging him, please let me stay in the college, because I won't be able to do anything if I go to home. So it was like that, and warden was warden. He said no, you won't be allowed. And we also proposed him that you make a lockdown in the college, don't let anyone come inside. It's all a matter of 15 days, so let us be in the campus for 15 days, and what else will do? So he said no, you have to go to director for this, we will have to convince DM for this. He explained many factors. We figured out that it won't gonna happen. So it was around 11 a.m. we went there. The whole hostel was running here and there, packing their bags, going to home. We were attending town hall, and suddenly we discussed that topic, that the college is going to be closed and now we are supposed to go back to our homes. Then again Pratik said, why don't you guys pay a visit to Tehri? So you can, it's only a matter of 15 days. So you just go to there, you will work with focus, and you'll get to learn many things there also. And he was totally interested in, like previously we had a discussion around that when you guys will be in Tehri, we'll have different environment kind of thing. So I was pretty much convinced that I should go to Tehri, because I didn't see going back to home as an option at all. So I was pretty much convinced. I gave a rank to Mama. I said, I'm going to Tehri. She said, why? I said, because it's about my career. She said, okay. So she said, where you will be living? So actually Gaurav Bhatt, at that time, he showed confidence that he'll arrange the accommodations for us. So I explained everything to her, and she was pretty much convinced. And then I rushed back to Kuldeep's room. I just said, Kuldeep, let's go. Kuldeep, no. I said, why? Mummy is saying no. I said, what you said? He said, I called and I said, Mummy, I'm going to Tehri, and Mama said no, and I cut the call. So I said, you didn't say anything further? नहीं, बात ही क्या करनी थी इसके आगे, सब कुछ खत्म. फिर then I told him that I convinced my mother like this ways, you also give it a shot, because I was pretty much selfish about that, covering a distance from Dwarhat to Tehri via Rishikesh route. It was pretty much like I was not getting enough confident to go alone, so I was just pushing him to convince his homies that please do it. So he had a discussion of half an hour with mother and father, and in the end they also agreed, and Kuldeep was like, let's go. So we were like, let's go. It was 2 p.m. in the day, and we got a cab to Ranikhet, and from Ranikhet we got a bus which directly lands to Dehradun. So in midway we were planning to drop at Haridwar, and then from Rishikesh to Bagi. So things happened eventually. We got a cab, we got a bus. Actually the bus was 1990s Uttarakhand Roadways, and yeah, it was, every joint of the bus was audible. Like whenever a speed breaker comes, I was like, Kuldeep, tough hai. So Kuldeep said, Arey ho jayega. So we were just sitting on unfortunately we got the last seat of the bus, which is the longest one, and above that we have a iron plank which rests beside that. So I thought that everything will go fine. In midway somewhere somewhere in the Ramnagar or somewhere in Jaspur I'll get a seat. But no, we were on that seat only. And suddenly we reached about it was Khairna. I hope you all guys have heard the name. So it started raining. It was drizzling at that time. I thought that it's a hills weather, so it will settle down soon. I convinced myself that reaching Haldwani would sort all the things. And the moment we were at Rani Bagh, hailstorms started happening, and the plank I was discussing, all the water used to deposit there when the driver used to put a brake, and all the water used to come over us. So there were three people, Kuldeep, me and one guy from the Kotdwar. We were sitting like this. I was here was the space for water to drop, here was Kuldeep, and here was he. The last seat was covered by us. Fortunately, I just snatched a warm blanket kind of thing from my friend. I was saying that I'm going to Tehri, I'll be needing this thing, and I just took it from him and we came here. So yeah, in Jaspur we got a seat. Right above the seat, if you have noticed, on the roof of Uttarakhand Roadways there are bolts, so they are tied to pillars. Unfortunately, the bolt was loose and the rainwater was dripping on that seat as well. So we were like, Kuldeep. Then my mother called in 11 p.m. midnight. I told her that it's Haldwani and these things are happening. So she said ki, beta, the country is going to be shut down soon and you just come back to home. Whatever you want to do, you do it from here. I said no, I will not come to home, whatever you do. So I was like ki, I will go and we'll go. I also told Kuldeep that yahan tak aa gaye beta, वापस अब घर नहीं जाना. So he said yes. So we went to Jaspur, and still we could felt the droplets of water. So all three of us just spread the blanket over us and covered our faces, that we can't see anything and no one can see us, nothing will happen. So fortunately the rain stopped in Chidiyapur, where the bus stopped for breakfast. We went outside, everything was muddy, but the rain stopped finally. But it was very drastic kind of weather. You could hear the thunderstorms from there. It was very terrifying kind of thing, and I was feeling very pretty on myself that I should not have planned this day for going. I could have rested for 1 or 2. I should not have rushed. I should have planned the things accordingly. But then I realized कि अगर plan करने रुक जाता तो फिर then I could not have achieved anything. So reaching Chidiyapur, I came outside of the bus and Kuldeep was saying, let's go have breakfast. So we had a pretty decent bread pakoda and we went inside the bus, and the bus stopped in Haridwar, and Haridwar it started raining again, and I was like, इसी का इंतज़ार था. So we had our luggage bags pretty heavy. We were running like we had to catch from the roadways to Rishikesh where we get the buses for Rishikesh. We just ran in the dark. We didn't know where we'll get. We were running and we were asking, Rishikesh there. So we used to run to that checkpoint, and finally we got a bus to Rishikesh. And from Rishikesh, Gaurav was actually awake at that time. It was 3 in the morning. It was 3 in the morning. He was on chat, so he said he was actually sleeping. I called him, so I said यहाँ पहुँच गया हूँ, and what's the further? So he said that you will get bus from there. When you will move to left of that, means he explained whole of the scenario, that don't catch the bus which will go to Koti, catch the bus which will go to Ghansali, because it would make you stop in the Bagi, else most of the buses will go to Koti from via Chamba. So he explained all the scenario, and I was searching where Ghansali is written. There was no signboard of Ghansali, but one bus we found that driver was around there. So I asked him, Ghansali? He said, Baithiye. So we just sat there and we waited. We thought that now we'll not go outside of anything. Like, ab to jo hoga, Tehri jaake hi hoga. So yeah, and we just caught that bus, and Kuldeep and I was like, when the bus stopped in Chamba, it got stuck in traffic again, and I was like, सब कुछ आज ही होना था. That was my only reaction, and I cursed I cursed everything, almost everything which happened in the world for bad. I was very negative at that time, but then I slept, and suddenly we reached out to Bagi. And when I reached to Bagi, it was still drizzling, and I was like, "Ki, bhai, ye barish kab rukegi? When this will stop? I'm just sick of the rain." So Gaurav said that get freshen up. We'll go to lakeside, and I'll pay you. I'll be your guide for the college, and we'll go and meet Tushar in the hostel. So I'll guide you to where he lives. He showed me there he lives, and I was like, "Wahan jana hai?" So he said yes. I said, "Chal." So when we freshened up ourselves and we reached to there, this viewpoint.
So let's have part 2 then. You know?
Yeah, I'm about to bring it to that point. So I just reached to that point, and the sun was shining so bright at that time that at this point I felt pretty much confident. I felt like yes, now I can survive in this place, and now everything is settled. The weather, when the weather went fine, then I realized that it should be like this only, and that gave me confidence to live in Tehri and to survive in Tehri, and further things started happening accordingly. And you all guys are aware of the lockdown stories as well, so I'll be covering those stories in another version. Yeah, next week probably.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. So yeah, that was my story. I mean, lockdown story is told to everyone. Most of you guys have been aware of what we were going through. Yeah. So, but this was the part that most of us were not aware of, that how we traveled from Dwarahat to Tehri. So it was pretty much, struggling for us. But whatever happens it happens for good. And
this story club is to highlight the hero, but thanks for highlighting so many villains in this movie. So I just felt like Amrish Puri sitting here.
No, I kind of felt heroic in this moment as well, because if I would not have been too much stubborn, then things would not have been happened, because I don't let myself get convinced with hardships and hurdles. So you should never give up on anything.
Very good. Yeah.
So I just never gave up on that, and I reached that point.
It's quite heartfelt, and it's a backstage story. And now I know how many sacrifices we all need to make to reach out where we are and where we are planning to go next.
Yeah.
Right. Any questions for you? It was quite a quite a narrative.
Thank you guys for listening me. Okay, do you guys have any questions for me?
Everybody's hungry.